Thank you, Nancy. I am up in the Marietta State, and just a little bit of background on myself. I graduated from Brigham Young University in secondary art education, and I taught for 1 year. And I always wondered why I went through all that education, and now after all these years, I'm starting to realize why. Oh, can you hear me? Yes, a little bit better. And so now I'm teaching different things that I thought that I would ever be teaching, but I definitely see the Lord's hand in everything that I'm doing. I have 4 boys, and spent many years teaching in scouting, and I have 4 Eagle Scouts sons, and 3 have served missions, and I have another one that's leaving again soon. So all my boys are on the right path, and I'm quite pleased with that. About 5 years ago, I came to a point in my life where the Spirit was really starting to speak to me about emergency preparedness. And I had done, like most people, I had my wheat rice and my powdered milk, and I thought, I'm doing pretty good. But then it kind of dawned on me, I'm going, in a worst case scenario, I can't do anything with this. And I don't even know what to do with it. And so I had been praying about it. And my father had sent me a link to a YouTube video, which out of all the years, this is the only time he's ever done that. But it was one of those things that changed my life. And I watched this video, and it was about Wendy DeWitt. Raise your hand if you've heard of Wendy DeWitt. Oh, you guys are going to love this tonight. Because you can get on YouTube, and you can look up Wendy DeWitt. That's DeWitt. Strongly recommend you watch that, because basically what I'm doing here tonight, this is where I learned most of my stuff. It was through her video and her presentation that finally I said, I can do that. I can get my house in order, and it's not that bad to do it. And so I went straight away like Nephi, and I started my process. So if you want to kind of relax a little bit tonight, you can go to that YouTube video. There's 9 short videos. It'll take you an hour to watch them. But send it to your friends. You know, pass it around so people can see how this whole system works. So that is one link that you're definitely going to want to take a look at. So what I'm going to do here tonight is going to be very casual. I do want questions from the audience. I don't know it all. So I'm sure every time I come to places, I do learn from you, and I carry that on. So I'm going to start at one end, and I'm going to work my way down to the other end. And if you can't hear me, just go like this, and I don't know that I need to speak up a little louder. Okay? Now, I thought I saw a hand over here. Did you have a question? Wendy DeWitt? How to spell her name? Well, you just go to YouTube on the search bar, and you just go Wendy DeWitt, food storage, and she'll pop right up. You can see that it is in a cultural hall like this, and she's a member of the church, and she tells you all about how she kind of got into this.
Her link is in your information.
Yeah. On the page where I have all my links, there is the link there as well. But she has it in the email. It is so much easier if you just sign that paper over there, and then when you get that on the email, that page, then you can just click on all those things, and then you don't have to type it all in and find it. Well, I wasn't there, but I can tell you a little bit about it. But as we go through this, what I want you to do is see how you can incorporate this into your life. Because this is the only system on food storage that I have ever seen that it works and people can duplicate it over and over again. And the beautiful thing about this is it is what you eat. It's not what I eat. So if you have food allergies, or you have special needs, or you have picky eaters, whatever it is, you just follow the system and you can get all the things that you love shelf stable for a year plus and have it with no electricity, and you can cook it also. So we're going to show you how to do that tonight. So basically I'm going to start right over here. is where I need a handy-dandy person. Who wants to be my helper up here? To hold my microphone when I need it. Okay. I've also realized I need 3 hands when we get started up here. So I'll have him come around this way. Your name? Randall. Everyone give applause to Randall. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try to talk in the microphone. Okay, so when you on YouTube and you're looking up her videos, the very first thing she tells you on how to get the food that you love is that you'll take your recipes, you'll take 7 dinner recipes and 7 breakfast recipes. And you'll write each recipe on a 3x5 card. And say, for instance, you want to make spaghetti for dinner. So on that card, you'll write all the ingredients plus how much water it takes to cook it. And then, if you're just going to do those 7 recipes to start your supply, then you'll multiply it by 52 times because there's that many weeks in a year. And then it'll tell you all the way down to the teaspoon of salt plus the water to cook it for that one dinner. It is that easy. I don't know why I didn't think of that myself, but she told me, and that's what I did. So what I did is I thought, if I had to have spaghetti for dinner every week for a year, I would go crazy. And you do, when you're doing your food storage, you do have to take into consideration appetite fatigue. So you do want variety. But she just keeps it simple in the videos so you can understand. So what I did is I spent 3 days. And I went through all my recipe books. And I came up with the recipes that if I had a bottle of meat and a bottle of sauce and my basics, what could I make? And then I compiled it all and I put it in here. I just started in my computer. And then I organized it. So I just came in here. So here's my first recipe. And then once I had all my recipes, then I figured, okay, I have 31 dinners here. And then how many times a year I'd have them? I have them 12 times a year. And then I multiplied every ingredient by 12. And then over here, in the sticky notes, I wrote what my year supply for that recipe was. And I went through there like that. It does take time. And then, in the very back, what I did is I created a shopping list. And I alphabetized every ingredient to every recipe in my notebook here. And here I have, the ingredients in alphabetical order. Then I have an empty spot here where I can write what my inventory is at home. And I do that in pencil. And then over here I have what my year supply is. And then, like for instance, if I want to make my chicken Alfredo in here, I know for a family of 5 to 7 people, I need 36 jars. Now, when you do this, what you're going to find out, it's not this 5 tons of wheat and, astronomical amount of food. Wendy DeWitt says that for a year's supply of food for one person can fit underneath the twin-size bed. I mean, that's pretty amazing. I'm going, yeah, right. But when you get doing this, you start seeing that, a year's supply of this is only 3 teaspoons and so many cups and 24 quarts of this. And it really gets it down to the size that is very doable for you. So that's what I recommend that you do here. So for my family, I put this together. And then from there, people kept asking me for a copy. So Nancy said that if anyone's interested in this, I can give it to you at my cost, and it's $10. So you can just sign up, and then I can give them to you through Nancy. And you can take a look at this. I'm going to pass it around so you can kind of look at it. The great thing about it is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. It took me 8 months to put that together. Okay, also, I've given you some samples here to kind of get you started. If you have special needs or whatever, you can just take the sample ideas here and to kind of give you an idea of what amounts that you're kind of looking at. Okay? And then there's other things I'm going to talk about as we go through here. So, okay. Okay, so you really want to start. Your number one thing you must have is water. And there's all kinds